Hey, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Dragon Quest Heroes on the PlayStation 4. Did that sound enthusiastic enough for you? Anyway, I haven't posted videos for a while because I was actually out of town. I was on a trip to New York to spread my grandmother's ashes, which it was a nice trip, but then it was the fact that you had to spread your grandmother's ashes and then you'd have to relive everything all over again because it was basically like 6 months after she passed away, so the wounds healed somewhat and then you went there and they opened up all over again. It was sort of depressing and we kind of wanted to look around and stuff like that, and it was hard. Didn't seem to bother my father as much, but sure as heck bothered the heck out of me. But I kind of hid it and blah blah blah. Do you really want to know all this shit? Of course you do, because it's my channel. But anyway, that's why I haven't made videos for a while. I actually recorded this before I went on a trip, and I was going to record commentary for this, which I'm recording now, obviously. But I figured I'd wait so I'd have a video because I had no idea what kind of shape emotionally I was gonna be in by the time I came back. And there was a little bit of drama. There always is with being with my father for long periods of time. But all is well now, I guess you would say. I just need a few days to kind of emotionally get myself together and before I could record this amazing mind-blowing commentary. So here I am recording this amazing mind-blowing commentary for you. So that's why I wasn't around, and I saved this video because I figured I'd want to do a video but not put as much work into it as I normally would, work as in going and sitting down and playing all these games, and recorded them. If I wanted to, I would just want to play the games and not actually do the commentary. So I'm glad I made that decision. So enough of the boring shit. This is Dragon Quest Heroes, the world's trees, whoa, the blight below, whatever the freak it's called. I just call it Dragon Quest Heroes. There's no other Dragon Quest Heroes games until the sequel comes out, which is coming out at some point. I don't know when, probably next year. But this is like a Dragon Quest Dynasty Warriors type game where it's really action oriented and you just go around our Zelda Hyrule Warriors. It's the same thing. You kind of go around and just kill a massive amount of enemies. It's a hack and slash game. I have a history with the Dragon Quest series, not as a deep one as maybe some other people. I remember the first Dragon Quest game, which was on the NES, which when it came out in the US, it was referred to as Dragon Warrior. I think it had to do with some other company having the title Dragon Quest, and maybe they lost the right, so eventually they started calling it Dragon Quest again. But for a while there was Dragon Quest 1 through 4 was Dragon Warrior 1 through 4 here. And if you notice, the art style might look a little bit familiar to you because it's the same artist. I can't remember his name, and even if I did, unless I heard somebody say it recently, I'd probably butcher it. And I'm not all trying to sound like a jackass, at least not as much as I normally do today. So the artist is actually the artist that did the artwork for Chrono Trigger, which is my all-time favorite RPG. You'd be probably more familiar with Dragon Balls and its various animes, movies, games, I don't know, toys, toothbrushes, snacks, dildos, vibrators, crack pipes, syringes, bowls to smoke weed in, whatever Dragon Ball Z branded shit that there is. But he also did the artwork for a very overlooked Japanese RPG game, which I thought it was great because it came out at a time where there really wasn't a lot of traditional Japanese RPG games, and it looked really nice, and it really brought the artwork to life, a lot like this game does. Even though it's not related in the same universe, the artist's touch always looks like it would belong in this universe. And that was Blue Dragon on the Xbox 360. That was actually a 4-disc game, which is kind of unheard of for the Xbox 360. There's only a handful of games that are multiple discs on that system. That was one of them, and that was a fairly early title. There was also a Nintendo DS Blue Dragon, but I don't think it came out here in the States. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if you guys have a chance. I know you want to. But yeah, this is like a hack and slash Dragon Quest game. Like I said, I have a history with Dragon Warrior, at least the first one. The first one was unique. It was really one of the first times that I ever played a traditional Japanese role-playing game. Unfortunately, I was really young and I didn't really have anybody older to show me the ropes, and that wasn't the type of game that Westerners, or the average Westerner, was used to playing, so I didn't understand it. So I would go into the woods and battle all these monsters, and I could kill the first few, and then I would die, and you'd go into town and you'd talk to people, and I wouldn't get far in the game. I kept on playing it over and over again, because sometimes I'd get a little bit farther. What I mean by a little bit farther, barely any farther, maybe just up the map a little bit. And I would lose all the time, and it kind of blows my mind. When you're a young kid, you just play games for the sake that you're playing a video game. It doesn't necessarily have to be a good game, a great game, and you might not necessarily have to play it right. But I was so intrigued when you went into the battle system. You'd see this awesome artwork, and I remember being really into insects and snakes and stuff at the time. So when you'd fight, even though a scorpion's an arachnid, when you fight a scorpion, I was about to say an arachnid, when you fight a scorpion, you would have a big picture of the scorpion, or if you fight a ghost, it was this ghost with a witch's hat. The slimes weren't particularly interesting, even though they're like a iconic character, a creature of this series, but it was always cool to see the slimes and stuff like that in the big picture, because usually when you're playing an NES game, they were typically side-scrolling games, and the artwork wasn't all that detailed, so it was kind of cool to see these pictures. The problem was I didn't really understand the whole concept of playing an RPG, leveling up, going back to the town, restoring your health, going back and being a little bit stronger, leveling up. I didn't understand that you would grind in the game, because back then it wasn't really common knowledge. RPGs were rare, you know. I'm surprised they even released 4 Dragon Quest games, or Dragon Warrior at the time. Some people might remember this as Dragon Warrior. I remember when I went to the gaming store to go pick up my copy of Dragon Quest 8, and I accidentally called it Dragon Warrior 8. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about, because I always remembered this series as being Dragon Warrior. It's a shame this fantastic artwork you see here was clearly displayed on the Japanese versions of the game, but when they came to the US, I guess anime wasn't really a thing beside maybe a couple of Saturday morning cartoons, and we didn't really think of them as anime. We just thought of them as Saturday morning cartoons with a unique art style. Anime wasn't really all that popular. It was sort of a underground thing. Really, the only thing you would know about is maybe Akira, which came out either in 1987, between 1987 and 1989. That's like the most popular one. Before that, there was like Castle Cagliostro, which got a little bit of popularity due to there being a Dragon Slayer like game, which was one of those Laserdisc quick time event games, which took scenes from that and put it in the game, and the game was called Cliffhanger. I don't know if any of you remember that, but yeah, it also had some other scenes from a different Lupin the Third movie, like called The Legend of Mamo or something. I actually own it and I don't even know what the fuck it's called, go figure. But this is typical standard hack and slash fare. You know, when you get my channel, you know I'm barely going to talk about the game, and my English obviously is going to be terrible, which is already bad because I'm American. I speak broken English as it is, so I'm breaking it even more to even smaller pieces. So yeah, This is a hack and slash game. You can switch the characters if you want to. There's very minor RPG aspects where you can level up, but there's not a whole lot of items. This game is really easy in the beginning. I have not finished the game, but I did hear that this game gets progressively difficult right towards the end of the game. There's supposed to be this difficulty spike, which is fine, but right now playing this game, it's super easy. I really love the art style. Even though there were 3D rendered models in the newer 3DS and PlayStation 2 Dragon Quest games, starting with Dragon Quest 8 and I guess 9 came out on the 3DS, but they were like a cell shaded look. This looks closer to the graphical stylings of Blue Dragon. Of course, it's on PlayStation 4, so it's going to be more detailed, and I'm glad that they didn't go for a cell shaded look, because this game almost looks like it has a claymation look, which I really like. And even though there's not a whole lot of detail in the backgrounds, everything just looks nice and sharp and textured very well. It runs smooth even though there's a crap load of stuff on the screen, and it's just a really good fun time. And I think this game is great. You can get it cheap now because the sequel's coming out. Dragon Quest, they came out with 4 of them, and then I think they released the other ones on the handheld. I think Dragon Quest 8 is probably the best one that I've played. Level 5 actually made that, which also made Dark Cloud 1, 2, and Ni no Kuni, which is also getting a sequel, which is awesome. Which Ni no Kuni, you might remember because Studio, I'm going to probably say it wrong, Ghibli, the Miyazaki, that's how you say his name, the person who made Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service, yada yada yada, that director. Also, he actually made the Castle of Cagliostro, which was based on Cliffhanger, which I mentioned before. So yeah, so Level 5 made that game. I don't really actually know who made this game. I cut out the credit sequences so it would go straight to this game. I know it's published by Square Enix. Enix made the Dragon Quest games and Square made the Final Fantasy games, and they merged. And at one point, these companies did work together, which is how Chrono Trigger got made. But it's a great game. The music in this game is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. You like hum all the tunes. I'm not familiar with all the Dragon Quest games because I haven't played a whole bunch of them. I played the very first one on the NES. I really didn't play the sequels until Dragon Quest 8. I wanted to get Dragon Quest 7, which after 4, 7 was the next one that we got in the US. They didn't release 5 and 6 here because I don't think that they thought that they were going to sell well. I think they gave up after 4, but now that it's gained popularity, they started re-releasing them, I believe, on the Nintendo DS and 3DS. Don't ask me which ones because they've come out with spin-offs and games. This is, of course, a spin-off. The Slimes got their own spin-off. But yeah, this is very much like a Dynasty Warriors type game. There's a stupid little thing that heals you. It's like a hybrid slime octopus thing. I don't even know what it's called. Like I said, I never got to finish Dragon Quest or Dragon Quest 8, but I played a fair amount of Dragon Quest 8. I want to go back and finish it. Now I'm hearing it's on the 3DS. You actually can get it on your cell phone now too, which is really strange to me, but it looks best on your TV. I wish they'd come out with like a HD remake because I don't know, that game requires so much grinding. I just don't think I would enjoy playing it on a small screen. And Dragon Quest games, even the newer ones, Final Fantasy games kind of eased up on it, but the traditional RPG Dragon Quest games are more grind heavy. This isn't. This is just like Dynasty Warriors. It's really fun. You're either gonna really like this genre and have fun with it, or you're gonna absolutely be bored with it. And I guess it depends how much you like the character designs, and I don't know how you can't like the music, but you're going to hear the same themes over and over again. And if you're a fan of the series, I think you'll absolutely like this game as long as you're not one of those people that just exclusively play RPGs. But if you like action hack and slash games, I think you'll like this too. But if you don't like either genre, you're probably not going to get much out of this game. But I mean, it's a fun game. It's very repetitive, but it's just so charming in my opinion. It holds your attention. I like how you have to actually confess in order to save your game. You do that in the actual RPG games too. But Dragon Quest X was a massive multiplayer RPG. That's why the next one that's coming out here, because they skipped 10, they went to 9, and now they're going to 11. 11's weird. They're going to release 11 on PlayStation 4 as a full-fledged 3D game that'll probably look gorgeous, and from what I've seen, it looks gorgeous. They're also releasing a Minecraft game of this, so they're trying to make this a bigger franchise than it ever was. But with 11, they're also releasing a 3DS version, which is an overhead version of the PS4 version. That's so weird, but kind of cool that they're experimenting. But I absolutely adore this game, and if you like the Dragon Quest series, Dynasty Warriors, or hack and slash games, I'd recommend it. Or if you just want to try something unique, this is one of the better hack and slash games. Thank you guys so much for watching and being patient with my channel and supporting it. Take care, and I'll talk to you on the next video. I hope you're all well. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe! Thanks for watching!